Hello, I'm Rocket. Welcome back to the Virtual Presence Hierarchy of Needs program. This module is about the second need, audio quality. The TLDR, too long didn't read version of this is good audio is way more important than good video. The adage is 80% of good video is good audio. Clear audio helps reduce the amount of cognitive load other people have to exert. Instead of investing energy and understand what you're saying due to bad audio, people will be able to concentrate on the point you're trying to make. In other words, they will have a better chance of listening to what you're saying versus trying to hear what you're saying. If you have any questions about where to start once you've sorted your network connectivity, start with audio. I will be talking about different products in this video. Links to those products are in the description, along with ways to get in touch. A great way to start is to get an idea of how you sound on a conference call. Take your video conference solution of choice, record yourself, and then play back the recording using decent headphones. Contrast that by listening to one of your favorite high-quality podcasts from the same headphones. If you really want to get a great contrast, record yourself using your laptop, desktop, or webcam microphone, and then do that comparison. Now, some ideas for podcasts with decent audio: The Tim Ferriss Show, The Tech Meme Ride Home, and Pivot. These are all voice-based podcasts. In a word of caution, some of those episodes might not have great audio. A guest might join with bad audio. It might be live on stage, or there might be some audio issues that impacted the recording. If comparing with a podcast doesn't work for you, compare with this recording. This is my video conference setup. The idea is to understand the difference so you know what it sounds like as you get closer to better audio. I don't know about you, but I can listen to podcasts with good audio all day long, but I struggle to listen to podcasts with bad audio for more than a few minutes. One of the factors with audio is how your room sounds. Now, if you listen to your test recording and think, I sound like I'm in a bathroom or it's really echoey, there might be a lot of hard surfaces in your room, and you want to stop the sound waves from bouncing around and coming back into the microphone. Consider adding sound panels or blankets to dampen the reverberation. You can start by just putting blankets on furniture or put them on the walls to see what that does. And then that'll give you an idea of what helps, and from there you can make a decision. When it comes to sound panels, the Elgato Wave panels are very effective, relatively easy to install, and look nice. Now, through these videos, you're going to hear me recommend several Elgato products. I find their accessories useful, well-made, and reasonably priced. There are cheaper options. However, my experience is most Elgato products fall in the buy once, cry once category. If there's a lot of room noise in your area that might impact during your audio quality during a call, like leaf blowers or neighbors or dogs barking, trucks driving by, all those kinds of things, go into your video conferencing audio settings and make sure noise suppression is enabled. Most conference solutions these days have that enabled by default. If you still have noise and after you're recording, here's a couple things you can try. Turn off the automatic setting on noise suppression. Instead, choose the medium setting. And if that doesn't fix the issue, switch it to high. If that still doesn't work, get in touch. We can talk about some of the software and hardware-based solutions that deal with noise suppression. Arguably, the most critical part of your audio chain is the microphone. Just like it is difficult to make a good meal out of bad ingredients, it's difficult to get good audio out of a bad microphone. And by the way, if you're still using your laptop microphone or webcam built-in microphone, it's definitely time to do a sound checkup. For this particular conversation, I'm going to group microphones into 3 types: the earpod style, the speakerphone, and the standalone microphone. Now, you thought I was going to say dynamic, condenser, and ribbon microphone, didn't you? All right, that was a bad audio joke. Now, when it comes to earpod style microphones, this is my shorthand or proxy way of saying any wired headphones that include a microphone. Now, these could be the classic Apple earpods, a gamer headset, a call center headset. These are all examples of headphones with a microphone built in. Now, you might notice I didn't say AirPods. Similar to avoiding Wi-Fi, I recommend avoiding Bluetooth headsets, especially on high-stakes calls. Bluetooth has a very high compression rate as the data travels from the microphone to the computer. As a result, most voices come across as slightly clipped. Just like AirPods is my proxy term for all wired headphones with a microphone, I'm using AirPods as a proxy term for any Bluetooth headphones with a microphone. And I definitely acknowledge this is a recommendation that's difficult to follow. These Bluetooth headsets, AirPods in particular, are really convenient to use. And one of the things about Bluetooth that you got to worry about is its reliability. A lot of the time you might be okay, but ever so often you get that dreaded Bluetooth robot voice. My experience is the robot voice happens when you want it to happen the least, when it counts the most. The next type of microphone I want to talk about are speakerphones. A speakerphone is an integrated unit that has a microphone and a speaker in that single unit. They're different from the speakerphones I found in desk phones in the days of yore. And it took me a long time to embrace the modern speakerphone, since my experience up to that time could be summed up this way. I go to my manager's office, and we start talking about something, and we need somebody else's input. In a very action-oriented way, my manager would let's get that person on the call. He'd hit that speakerphone button on the phone, dial them, we'd start talking, and then we'd have a really painful experience. We'd both be talking really loud at this phone on the desk, and the other person on the other end struggled to hear because the microphone wasn't very good. It was a painful experience. The thing is, these modern speakerphones are purpose-built for video call solutions, so they're worth considering. The speakerphone I use is the Jabra Speak 710. I've also used the Jabra Speak 750. It's just a bit more of an investment. These Jabra speakerphones have good sound quality, they're decent microphones, and they're also portable, so you can travel with them. Now, when it comes to any kind of speakerphone, there's a good chance you're going to pick up more room noise if your microphone is further away from your mouth. So I recommend moving it around to find that balance between ease of use and access and good audio quality. And the one big thing with these speakerphones, connect using the USB cable, not Bluetooth. When it comes to standalone external microphones, these are ones that need a stand or boom arm to hold. Now, before I go too far into this topic, understand that standalone microphones like this are incredibly deep waters. There's decades and decades of engineering involved, basically from the first time sound was recorded. For now, I'm staying in the shallow end of the pool. So I'm going to cover two microphone interface types. The first one is the USB microphone interface, and that connects directly into your computer. And then I'll cover XLR microphones that plug into something that then connects into your computer, often over the USB interface. I find it useful to distinguish between these two interface types because there's such a large variance in quality between the two. XLR microphones have a much wider variety of quality and price than the USB microphones do. XLR microphones go from tens of dollars to thousands of dollars, and professional audio engineers have used these for years because they're tried and true. And don't get me wrong, they're good USB microphones. The thing is that the best USB microphone is nowhere near as good as the best XLR microphone. For comparison's sake, USB microphones tend to run from tens of dollars to hundreds of dollars. Now, I'm not going to cover microphones that directly plug into your headphone jack. If you have one of those and you like them and you use them, let me know. I'm open to hearing about them. When it comes to external microphones, you're going to need a way to hear the call in such a way that it doesn't cause that echo feedback into the meeting. So if you have external speakers and a standalone microphone, the external microphone may pick up sound from the call and send it back into the call, creating that echo. These days, most video conference solutions recognize when a microphone and a speaker are on the same interface and will automatically cancel that echo. However, if you have a microphone coming in on one interface and the speakers going out on a different interface, you have a high chance of getting that echo. So a way to deal with this is you may want to have some headphones instead of external speakers. Now, there's two types of headphones. There are the in-ear headphones and there are the over-the-ear headphones. Some in-ear headphones are designed so that the wire comes up behind you and loops over the ear, and the wires won't show that way. These are called in-ear monitors, or IEMs. I have a low-cost recommendation, the Linsel KZ Pros. And you don't need to get the one with the integrated microphone because they aren't very good. They're about $50. They sound decent and are comfortable enough to wear for long stretches. They're great value for that price. With any external standalone microphone, you're going to need a way to hold it. Now, either with a microphone stand or a boom arm. Desk microphone stands can be super convenient. Just keep an ear out for desk noise. For example, as you're typing, you might pick up thumping from your desk. Boom arms are great if you have a setup that supports them, and there's two styles. There's the overhead boom or the low profile. And when shopping for a boom arm, take a look in ones that won't make a lot of noise when you move them. The low-cost ones have a bunch of springs and hinges that can often make a racket. Now, if you're looking for a specific recommendation, I'm going to go with the Elgato Wave microphone arm. There's two versions. One is the overhead and the other is the low profile style. After years of using overhead style boom arms, I tried out the low profile and found it way easier to manage. It was a surprise. At this point, I do want to pause and talk a few minutes about your personal style. I don't include style as one of these hierarchical needs because it's more of a choice than it is a need. I bring it up now because as you're going to debate and decide on which type of microphone, headphones, and microphone stand you go with, it's worth considering how you look on camera and how you want to show up, and then being deliberate about it. A simple example, you can decide that using out-of-the-box earpods with those white cables are good enough. And by the way, they are super effective, especially on mobile calls. The one thing you want to consider is when you show up on camera, you're going to have the wire show up as well. And this can be distracting to the participants on the video call. Now, for any number of reasons, you might decide that's perfectly okay and you're going to embrace that look. I'm not here to judge. I simply recommend thinking about how these decisions impact your style, and don't make these decisions by accident or by default. In another slightly more subtle choice, if you decide to use an external microphone, do you show the microphone in camera frame or not? Personally, I think it's fine to show the microphone in the frame, but you want to take a look and decide for yourself if that's okay. Now that I've covered the basics of the external microphone setup, here are a few recommendations. Now, for USB microphones under $50 or even under $100 US, I'm not going to make any recommendations. Not because I don't like them, but because there are so many YouTube videos out there that do the comparisons and make recommendations for this price range. The creators have ways to test these microphones and do a great job, and it's not something I'm super interested in doing. So for USB microphones above $100 and below $300, I'm comfortable recommending any Rode or Shure brand USB microphone. I've used the Rode NT USB microphone. It works great, and you can find it for less than $150 US. In the buy once, cry once category, I recommend the Shure MV7, the one I'm using here. It has both a USB and XLR interface. It has excellent sound. And because it has both interface, it can grow with you if you decide to change to XLR. And when it comes to a pure XLR microphone with good sound, the iconic Shure SM58 is a great microphone choice for less than $100. Now, while you can get a very good XLR microphone for less than $100, a decent XLR to USB interface can run between $100 and $300, and even higher depending on your need. I've not found any under $100 that I can recommend. I've not done an exhaustive test, so I'm open to hearing others' opinions. I do have two that I can recommend. The first is the Elgato Wave XLR interface. It's under $200 US. It's super easy to use. It has a nice volume control as well as a well-placed mute button. It also has good volume gain, which is useful for some of the quieter XLR microphones, such as the Shure MV7 I mentioned earlier. The second recommendation for XLR to USB interfaces is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. It's just under $200, and one of the big differences is it has two XLR inputs. It's great if you have a setup where you need a second microphone Like, for example, you want to run sound to a different part of your work area. Having that second XLR interface is very convenient, as you can leave that second microphone there. I've talked a lot about audio, but I've really only scratched the surface. There's so many options and variations. For example, what about lavalier microphones, also known as lav mics? What about shotgun microphones? What about using a mixer as the interface into your computer? What about feeding audio into your camera and then into your computer over HDMI? What about EQ? There's so many options. To make this manageable, I've kept things fairly narrow and specific to this video conference solutions, and even more specifics to the solutions that I've used. If you have questions or interested in this type of things, reach out. See the video descriptions for ways to get in touch. Now, if you really want a knowledge boost about this stuff, I recommend checking out Office Hours Global. Point your browser to officehours.global to get started. Now, with Office Hours, you can ask questions every day of a very experienced panel. They know about audio, video, virtual reality, event production, computer modeling, and more. Now, this is just one in a series of virtual presence hierarchy of needs videos. Be sure to check out the remaining ones to get that full picture. And with that, I'm Rocket. Let's get on to the next video.